Hello everyone and welcome to INFINOX Market Insights with me, Richard Perry, analysing markets for INFINOX on Friday the 11th of June. Now into this session we've still got the ranging conditions that we've got throughout quite a lot of the major markets that we look at. Certainly Forex continues to remain in a fairly sluggish range. We were looking for some sort of direction to come out of the ECB and the US inflation numbers yesterday. The ECB didn't really change monetary policy at all. If anything, there was even a slight dovish tilt with the consideration that they are continuing to front load the PEP program throughout the coming quarter. But US inflation numbers also spiked higher, but you'd think that the dollar would strengthen off the back of that, but it hasn't. Actually, yields have fallen, the dollar's come back under pressure. So essentially, there's a slight positive bias coming through a lot of these Forex major charts with the dollar selling off slightly, but mainly that we're seeing the move through commodities with again a positive bias, and also equities are feeling the benefit of that move through, with equities moving through all-time highs on the S&P 500 again. But essentially direction is very sluggish at the moment and could continue throughout until the Fed meeting next week, where we're hoping for some sort of guidance and direction that could drive markets into the coming month. Now, in terms of data points today, we're looking out for the Michigan sentiment prelim numbers, expected to come in slightly higher than last month. Last month actually fell back slightly, so we're looking for a pick up once more this month. And if that is again disappointed, we could see a reaction through markets. Now, with regards to the INFINOX support and resistance table, that comes at the end of the video. Always good for some trading levels there. So for the charts that we're looking out for today, we could have picked any Forex majors because there's a bit of a sluggish move, as I said, but I've gone for cable. Cable slightly picked up and is looking to try and move towards a resistance again, but can it get the traction? Similarly, we're looking at commodities, and silver has also picked up with that dollar weakness. Silver is now testing a key level of resistance, but again, can it break out? And finally, with regards to equities, we've got the S&P 500 futures moving to all-time highs, but is it the time to buy? Let's have a look at these charts. And onto the INFINOX MT5 platform now, and just starting off with cable, we can see that sterling dollar has basically been in this range for the last few weeks. It's not really managing to push through the gears, and again, once more yesterday, it did actually look as though it was moving to the downside, and then you had the US inflation numbers, and then treasury yields fell off a cliff. And subsequently the dollar got sold off and sterling rallied. But once more, it doesn't really seem to be doing it in terms of potentially for a breakout. However, we would still say that there is this positive bias. You're still in this long-term uptrend channel on cable, and it looks to be as though any time you get weakness, it is bought into. However, just for now, it's not really managing to push through the gears and break out and really test that resistance of 42.40, 42.50 area. Seems to be stuck in this quite slightly even negatively biased range. If you look on the 4-hour chart, if you zoom out slightly, you can see here that momentum's struggling around the 59.60 area, pushing back towards the low 30s on the 4-hour RSI. So yeah, it's not really managing to really do a great deal. But I think if it can start to push through 42 figure, then you're going to start to see some traction towards 42.40, 42.50. But for now, certainly a bit dull on cable. Moving on to silver, you could argue a similar story, but I think silver is more positively configured on the momentum indicators, certainly. RSI holding nicely above 50, but again, is it able to really drive higher? The RSI has been failing around the 62 mark recently as the market moves towards resistance. If I come out 2 levels, you can see the importance of the resistance that starts to come in around here. Time and again throughout the last 11 months, silver's started to fail around this point. So is this again a point at which silver starts to lose its traction? Question marks surrounding that. And I think, but if you look on the 4-hour chart, it's more positive, and this move in the last day or so has certainly been a key move that seems to be gaining traction. RSI up into the 70 point on the 4-hour RSI. But again, is this the point at which we still see silver continuing through the gears? It'll be interesting to see if it can. It's looking fairly positive at the moment, but key resistance needs to be broken. And finally, on S&P 500 futures, well, resistance seems to be breaking to the upside. Slight move to all-time highs yesterday, and again holding that move today. But again, is the momentum really in this move, and I've actually got the stochastics to show you here as well. Stochastics seem to be rolling over once more. Now that's okay for now, but if stochastics went underneath 80, then you'd be starting to be a little bit concerned. But again, it seems to be fairly ranging, not really driving through the gears on this move higher on the S&P 500 futures. I'd be looking to buy into weakness really more than this. I think 4,200 area is fairly decent. Actually, you could probably cope with a move back to 4170. But I think 4,200 is fairly decent entry point at the moment with this sort of creep higher that we have through the S&P futures. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it informative for your trading. Join me again on Monday, where we'll be looking ahead to the Fed and seeing how markets are shaping up early in the new week. So with that, I'll leave you with the INFINOX support and resistance table, and I will speak to you then. Thank you very much.